Hello and welcome to the next Lukozer retro game review video. I did tell you that you hadn't seen the last of this one. Yes, Hot.B are back with Playgirls 2. The shitfest continues. I don't know if that was the official subtitle, but I thought it was a suitably apt one. As you can see from this demo mode, they've decided to change the actual gameplay a bit. It's now a shoot 'em up. Let's see. We have. Well, you look like you're some bloke at the bottom of the screen there, firing upwards at random targets. It's fucking Baker's bollocks return to haunt me. As if the actual premise of Playgirls couldn't get any worse, they've then, combined it with Baker's Battle, for fuck's sake. I don't know if this game could have combined two worse titles if they tried. Right, nevertheless, let's bung in a few credits and get this fucking shit smear over and done with. Here we go. So you can choose who you are. If you are a lady, you actually have less of a life. But we'll be her anyway, because she does move around quite quickly. So here we go. Isn't that fantastic music? So you are sitting at the bottom here, firing upwards of these fucking things. And yeah, you don't lose a life straight away if you are hit by enemy fire, but they do take away energy, and once that energy is down to 0, you lose your life, and you only get 1 life. There we go. So we have the wonderful music that sounds like it's played on some sort of like digital electric kazoo, and now we go on to level 2, and there is an extra weapon, the time bomb, which stops everything, and you can try and deal with the cunts who are pretty difficult. I've run out of mine, so I thought I had more than one, but oh well. Now, as you can see, when they fire, they don't fire a fucking hell of a lot. Oh, fucking yeah, okay. Alright, here we go. Now, this thing that's moving across the top here sometimes drops power-ups, but most of the time it just drops score bonus, so that was quite handy actually, getting that. But this one fucking thing that's left is being a real cunt, so fuck it, we'll use the time stop bomb. There we go. Now that bonus countdown, once you get to like stage 2 or 3, that goes on for a fucking eternity, but thankfully pressing fire skips it. So here we go. Core, ain't that fucking great? So right, well let's get the video a review underway, shall we? Get it over with. Graphically it's shit, which is hardly surprising, because in terms of the graphics design and everything, it looks identical to the first Playgirls, which is not something that any game developer should be proud of. And the graphics on the backgrounds are just as shit as the original Playgirls as well. Core. So there we go, mission 1 completed. Now on to mission 2. Now, if you are one of these sad cunts who thinks, oh yeah, we might actually get to see some tits here, no, guess again. You don't get to see them. They are covered. There we go, so... you see what I mean about how long it takes the bonus to fucking count down, so fucking, yeah, let's get on with it. There is a time limit on each level, believe it or not. Told you they were covered. I mean, to be fair, the background graphics are better drawn than they are in the first one, but I mean, that's really not hard, and it's also not saying anything. I mean, so fucking what if they are? I mean, so anyway, yeah, so we covered graphics, they're shit. Now, then on to sound. The sound is fucking awful. This music, I dread to think what the fucking hell they've used to, you know, do this sound with, but it just sounds just fucking atrocious. I really don't want to continue, but fuck it, I'll do it for the sake of doing the review. I don't know what SS does. Super speed on the... it doesn't last very long. So anyway, so the sound is awful, the music is just atrocious, and the sound effects are just fucking, well, bugger all nothing. And then the gameplay, well, it's a unbelievably generic shoot 'em up, and as you may have noticed from that level in particular, the difficulty level is fucking astronomical in places. Namely from well, the start of the second level onwards. So not only is the game for, you know, people who redefine the term wankers, it's also unbelievably fucking hard. Now, it's obvious why they've done that. Okay, let's use this fucking, try and get that cunt. You see how many shots he fucking took? Even with the time stop, I used the whole thing just to get that fucking... now it looks like they've just stopped. There we go. So anyway, yeah, it's obvious why they ranked up the difficulty level, because the kind of person who is sad enough to want to, you know, play this so that they can see, you know, shittily drawn, digitized pictures of some tart or other, they are going to be desperate to see it all. So by making the game ridiculously hard, they'll make sure that that fucking prick will spend a fucking fortune on continues just to try and get to see, well, not very much actually, because the images are not very well drawn. And even if they were really well drawn, you know, what's the fucking point? Alright, this is where the bonuses just take a fucking age to be added. I mean, why did they make it this fucking slow? I'm deliberately keeping it on here to make a point, because yeah, if you press fire you skip this. So right, well, what do I rate it? It's worse than the first Playgirls game. If you think that's impossible, well, I don't blame you for thinking that, because it should certainly be impossible, and yet amazingly they've managed to do it. So yeah, the game is an absolute fucking heap of shit, and is worse, worse than the first Playgirls, which means this has to go into the minuses, because, well, Playgirl's got 0 out of 10. So this gets, well, I'll score it minus, oh fuck it, minus 3 out of 10, there you go. And it's in the minuses, it's worse than 0, it's a fucking load of shit, you know. Once it's in the minuses, it doesn't really matter what it gets, unless it, you know, he's reaching minus 10, which is the bottom of my scale. It's not quite bad enough to get minus 10, but then, you know, that's not much of a, you know, respite for it. I'm not fucking continuing anymore. Yeah, it's not much of a respite that it managed to get as much as minus 3 as opposed to minus 10. It's still, you know, is undeniably one almighty sack of wank, this game. Just like the people who like playing it, really. So there you go, that is Playgirls 2, released by Hot.B in 1993. Personally, I think they would have done us more of a favour if they hadn't bothered releasing it. So, minus 3 out of 10 for this fucking sack of shite. That brings this review to an end, and we will see you at the next one.